says there could be 37 potential issues associated with that error code. So, using a knowledge base here, what we're going to do is we're going to prompt them for more questions. We're going to ask, well, when does this actually occur? Okay? And, they answer the question, and suddenly I narrow down what the problem could be. And on the top, it's showing me where on the machine that problem could be occurring. It's narrowing down exactly where that problem exists. It asks them the next question, okay, which they can go ahead and answer. And after they've answered that question, it comes back and it says, okay, based on the error code and those symptoms that you learned from that remote diagnostic, I can identify the exact component and the exact issue. And when I click on that exact issue, it takes me to the resolution. It says, we know what this issue is. We know the resolution is to perform this task. It's going to take you 4.5 hours. It also tells me all the resources I'm going to need to do this. And then it tells me how urgent it is from a critical standpoint, either based on the service level agreement or based on other conditions that I specify in the system. So again, what we've done is we've gone from a very general alert down to helping that individual remotely determine the exact issue with that machine before I dispatch a technician and understand everything I need to spend with that technician from a resource standpoint to make sure that product is fixed on the first visit. Okay, so now that I've discovered the need for service, I move into the phase of how do I actually optimize service fulfillment? And there are two pieces here. The first thing, again, I want to do is essentially optimize the resources I send. And that, again, is the idea of tying into this environment all the knowledge about the resources, the skills, the equipment, and the parts that are necessary to perform any task within the system. So we link that into that task that we identified and related to the issue. We can then link that into our field service environment and essentially optimize the dispatch of resources. Because we're short on time this morning, I only have a half hour, actually a little less, we started late. We're going to pass by that point and look at the handoff to the technician. Now here's another key area that service typically is very inefficient and where smart products can really help out, and interconnected information, product and service information can be of a great benefit. What we're going to do is we're going to hand off to that technician all the knowledge that we've already learned about this issue, and then we're going to deliver to the technician the specific information they need to fix this particular problem or issue with the product without having to go through those volumes of service information. So let's go ahead and look at an example. Again, now we're in the role of the technician. We have a different interface. This could be on a mobile device. You can see the use of icons. The use of graphics we're a real fan of. It makes life so much easier for the people in the field to see something graphically. But in this case, we're showing the technician about that product again. We're showing the specific task they need to perform, where the part is on the product, and all the information they need to perform this repair. He can click on the disassembly procedure here, and we're going to show him an animation of how you actually perform this repair. This is a good example of on-demand learning. You really have to move away from that traditional text-based information to the idea of interactive content that allows people to learn on demand. So it shows them that procedure. It can go in a step-by-step mode. This is all reusing the engineering information that created that smart product just downstream. If you have the connection with engineering, you can reuse this information. Okay, so the technician can watch and see exactly how this repair is performed. If he's still not confident that he can do that repair, link him in to all the service knowledge experts out there. So this is simply a link into the resources we have and the experts we have for this specific repair. They can link in, they could ask questions, this could be a phone conversation, it could be a Skype session, but essentially link them in and allow those technicians to share the information in the field. So we've now given the technician the specific information they need to perform that repair, and when they're done, they can record what they've done for us as well. In this case, they tell us what parts were used. The system knew automatically what parts were necessary for that task. But the technician said, well, while I was in there, I actually saw that one of the hoses was chafed as well, so I'm going to repair that hose. So the system's smart enough, again, to take them to the exact information associated with that aspect of the product, allow them to select the component off a 3D representation, and add it to its parts list. So what we're doing here is instead of asking the technician to do more work, as part of their regular routine, we're capturing what they did and how they did it, so that when they complete this work order, we can have this linked into our warranty or service contract system where it looks at this repair, it looks at the history of the product, and it says, well, these things were under the warranty contract, so I'm going to generate 2 claims, and we want hydraulic pumps back for refurbishment. So it created that RMA. And as a result, what we're doing here is we're tying it in with the history of that product. So everything that technician just did was just captured and related to that product within the system so that we can actually see the history of this product and all the repairs that have been done. In this case, we can see that was the pump that we just replaced. I can click on it. It takes me back to that actual repair. So one of the keys here is, the part of service and smart service that we need to look at is in the past we just sort of pushed information out there and we dispatched technicians to do work, and we didn't have good ways of capturing what they were doing. The fact we have smart products and we have smart service now, we can deliver information in a way that we can capture exactly what's going on in the field, whether those are direct service technicians or whether those technicians are working for distributors as well, and feed that back that we're now creating a knowledge base of how well the products are performing and what types of service we're providing and how well the service is being provided. And that brings us to the last step, where the value here becomes the fact that, hey, we can continually improve upon both the product and service now that we have that connection. And the connection, again, is both to the product and to the people supporting the product. We want to take both and bring it together so that we get a complete view of what's going on. So in this case, we're going to be an analyst. This could be a warranty analyst, for example. And what we're going to do is we'll look at a performance dashboard, which is taking that information that we've collected, all these service events, all the information coming off the machines, and we're going to put in some key metrics that we're actually evaluating. We're going to look at that, and we're going to drill down to find specific issues that are occurring to that product and essentially detect them very early on to help reduce warranty costs and improve our service level agreement profitability. So here again we have a dashboard. We're the analysts. We come into our dashboard, and again this is set up to give us some key metrics. We're looking at all our product lines right now. And on this specific dashboard, we can see that we're having a problem with our loader product line. So they can simply click on that product line. It takes them down to the individual models. I can have additional metrics that I'm now evaluating here. And as I look through this dashboard very quickly, I start to notice that it's one specific model that we're having issues with, especially warranty issues with. I can click on that specific model, and again, it starts drilling me down into the information. Because we're managing all this information in a product-centric fashion, we can continue to drill down. So here, on the left-hand side, we're looking at our warranty claims based on the different policies for the different systems, hydraulics, powertrain, things of that nature. On the right-hand side, we're actually linking that up with the graphics that show the analyst what components are actually covered by each policy on that machine. Just a visual representation, again, to help them actually determine and narrow down, where the big issues are with this piece of equipment. I can continue to drill down and pick on that warranty, the hydraulic warranty claim line, and it takes me down to the individual components, and it tells me which components are we seeing the most claims against. Okay, and in this case, we see that it's the pump. That same pump we actually replaced on the bulldozer seems to be a problem on this loader as well. I can continue to drill down here, look at that specific pump, shows me where it is on the product, and then because I'm tied in again with engineering and manufacturing, as soon as I click on that pump, I now have a very good understanding of where that pump's used. So we use that pump across 5 product lines, where all my claims are coming from. In this case, I see most of the claims are on one product versus all products, so that tells me right away I don't have a pump problem, I have an application problem. I can also see that I get this from 2 manufacturers or 2 suppliers, and that one supplier's quality is much lower than the other. So from here, I can create feedback, where I'm going to feedback to engineering that the application of this pump within this product is incorrect. We've got to evaluate it because we're getting a lot of warranty claims. At the same time, I can go off to my supply chain group and tell them that I have a quality problem with this specific supplier that we need to resolve as well. So that really closes the loop, where, with smart products and smart service, what we've done is we've gone all the way from discovering an issue through assessing the performance of the product and our service efficiency to create this closed-loop model for continual improvement. So in summary, basically what we're saying, and our real focus as a company, is the idea that for the manufacturers, and we're hearing it from all our customers, again, being manufacturers companies are our customers, that they see their customers are increasingly expecting smart services with the smart products. There's almost, in many cases, we got a lot of examples of smart products getting bad raps because they couldn't be serviced properly. And in many cases, it had to do with operation versus actually anything with the product. It also offers great revenue opportunities. We see the companies that have been successful making this transformation are seeing significant increases in the percentage of service revenue and especially service profitability they're getting. But there are some challenges as well. First thing that many companies have to do, and what we help companies do, is create a phased roadmap. The idea that you need to provide service today while you're doing this transition to the service of the future. So it's key to create a roadmap that actually identifies where your greatest opportunities are. Like the examples I gave, is the best opportunity to tie, remote diagnostics in with remote monitoring, or do we go to a different area to make the technician more efficient? But you need to create that roadmap based on your business model and understanding where you want to go from a smart service standpoint. The next thing that's critical is really collaboration with engineering. And this is a challenge for many companies, that essentially, to really pull this off, service can't be an afterthought. It has to be part of the design process. It has to be you have to be thinking of design for serviceability. You have to be thinking about, what services you're providing for that product in the field. Some companies have been very successful at this, and the outcomes, are some of the best case studies we see. Others are still struggling. But really to achieve this, it's going to require much tighter collaboration between engineering and service and open up great opportunities. You saw that most of this demonstration was graphical in format. We just leverage everything that engineering is already doing. They're handing it off. We just take advantage of it and use it down in service. And then finally, you really need technology partners in many cases to help out with this. Pick the partners that have the vision, the solutions, and the experience in doing these types of implementations. But the opportunities out there are fantastic today. We see again this transformation just accelerating at this point, and it seems as soon as one company pulls it off within a manufacturing industry, the whole industry just is like a set of dominoes. It follows behind it. And the companies that are actually prepared and have a strategy around smart service are the ones who are going to come out on top. So I thank you for your attention this morning, and enjoy the rest of the conference.